Yo, what's up? I'm gonna show you something that I've been working on. It's actually something that was working for us in football and in basketball. And I've been trying to show this for baseball, but the situation was that in baseball, the pitching is a big important thing. So it took me a little longer than expected, but now it's done. It's something called the sharp edge or the sharp edge, and I'm going to just show you guys. And when I show you, I'm going to actually give you two plays as well. This is actually the way I'm able to win a lot of wins because I have a lot of information. So when we break it down, I'm going to hook you guys up, like I said. So if you wanted to follow along for future reference, let me show you guys here. All right, here we go. So if you wanted to follow along, like I said, there's a few people in here already. It's called the sharp edge. It's right here. You can see the little money sign with the magnifying glass. It's literally that. It's finding money within the data. Okay, and let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is actually how I started this YouTube channel with basketball and football. So I'm sure some of you guys recognize this stuff here. And inside this information, I'm going to hook you up with two plays. Okay. But let me just kind of walk through what the hell this is talking about. So look how much information is here. So number one right here, it's telling you the Cubs. The Cubs, they moved. Let me see if I can move this a little bit bigger. Give me a second. So again, guys, this is called the sharp edge, okay? The line, this is very obvious. The line started at a 300, which is super heavily favored for the Cubs. It's currently at a minus 325. So not only did they start super heavily favored, but now they're even way more favored, okay? So it's moving in 25 points increase towards the Cubs. Also, the public money that's coming in on the Cubs, and I show this with a lot of different graphs in different videos and stuff like that. But like I said, this is all shown inside the sharp edge. So this is where I get my information from. This is all my scrapers, all my AI analytics. Everything goes into one big database, and then it filters it out and it pumps this out. So like I said, it's been a little bit of a process to get this going the way it is, and I'm going to show you exactly. This is just one game. So look how much information is just for one game. Basically, it's right there. So literally 2 pages long of data for one game. Okay, there's only 2 games here that I'm going to talk about because that's all that's showing me. Okay, I already threw this into VIP, so you're basically getting the VIP information that I gave away in the morning. All right, let's keep going. Money line moved in the Cubs' favor. 93% of the bets, 91% of the money is coming in on the Cubs. Sharp money indication is coming in on the Cubs as well, because there's already indications, but not only is the strong money is coming in, the public money is coming in, the public betting is coming in, and the line is shifting. So that's telling you there's a lot of strong indication on the Cubs. Plus, we've been fading the Rockies. That's just a little background information. We've been fading the hell out of the Rockies, and we've been winning because the Rockies just suck. They're one of the worst teams in 124 years. They're the worst. This is the worst starting team in 124 years. Think about that. All right. Cubs rank number 1 right now. For the last 7 days, Cubs are ranked number 1 on base percentage. Rockies are ranking 23rd. Yeah. So TR says the Rockies are horrible. Yep, they are. So again, check this out. The Cubs are number 1. Rockies are all the way almost at the bottom at rank 23. All right. So this is for, again, on base percentage for the last 7 days. How often do they get on base? Is the Cubs get on base a lot and the other ones do not? So this guy's saying I got Suzuki and Tucker. And another video that I made, I have, what's his name? What the hell is his name? I don't want to think about it. Go check out my other video. I put up a Cubs batter up there today. So I can't think of his name right now. I'm not going to try to figure that out. But check it out. I'm going to keep going here. Massive 22-point rank difference advantage, a .317 average for the OPS differential. What that means, again, guys, is it's simply said, this is a lot of technical stuff, but basically what it's saying, it's a huge mismatch as far as on-base percentages. Okay, the win probability, it's telling you there's 78% win probability chance for the Cubs. The Cubs projection score, this is the quote unquote, the experts, they put a projection out there. They let you know who they think is going to win and how much they're going to win by. They do their own analysis. They do their own research. So that's thrown in here as well. The Cubs are 6.4 runs compared to the Rockies at a 3.8. This is the biggest mismatch of today's slate. Okay, it's a 2.6 run difference for the projections. This is the pitching now. This is very important. This is the part that was missing before. That's why I was not able to release this for baseball until I had the pitching corrected. So now it's in here. It's James Talion, 3-3 record with a 4.13 ERA. He's going against this guy Palmquist, 2 losses with this is one of the worst ERAs I've seen. It's a disaster for this guy. He's at a 11.88. That's the worst I've seen this season as an ERA. Actually, I saw one other guy, but he only pitched like 2 innings. His ERA was like 18. But besides that guy, it's this guy here. He's one of the worst pitchers that I've seen so far. Pitching edge is the Cubs is 7.74 ERA. The difference, what this is saying is that there's a difference from the ERA of a 4.13 compared to an 11.8. So there's a big advantage. It's enormous for the Cubs. Also, it's telling you the bullpen. So not only the starting pitching information, but the bullpen information, meaning whenever the starting pitcher is out, let me kind of zoom in here. So basically the bullpen, if you don't know what that is, it's basically the relief pitchers that come in after the starting pitcher. Okay, that's all that means. So they call them either relief pitchers or bullpen pitchers, all that stuff, because usually some pitchers, if they're very good, they go like 5 or 6 innings. Sometimes they suck, so they take them out on the 4th. So whatever that is, that's when they start pulling in the bullpen pitchers. Okay, so now in baseball, you have to look at the bullpen. So that's something, again, that was missing in this analysis, and now it's in here. The advantage is on the side of the Cubs for the bullpen as well. Okay, and now this is very important also. In the last 3 days, so even if a team is good with the bullpen, you have to look at the last 3 days, what they've done, the last three games. So, for example, the ERA, I'm going to give you a perfect example right here. It's saying the ERA overall for the Rockies is a 4.21 for the bullpen. But in the last 3 days, that's exploded all the way up to a 6.23. So you can see it right here. It says collapsing because it is collapsing. There's a big difference in the last 3 days compared to the rest of the season. Now, this is what telling you some trends, okay? This is telling you what they've done in the last 10 games. So it gives you the trends as well. So the Rockies are 5-5 in the last 10 games. The Cubs are 6-4, so they're doing a little bit better. Also, this telling you some information here. It's heavily favored on the overs. I'm not looking at the over-unders, but it's telling you that the Cubs go way over, 70. What is this? 72U. Oh, straight up. So the Cubs have gone 70-2 straight up on the over. So whenever let's say they started at the game started at I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7, usually like a 7.5 or whatever it is, they go over 70-2 straight up. Okay, the Rockies, they've gone on the under. Okay, so that's another key indication. The Cubs score way more than the Rockies. Okay, again, the last 10 games, the Cubs are 7-3. ERA is decent. Like I said, Rockies are 2-8 in the last 10. So think about this very quickly. So the Cubs are 7-3 in the last 10, and the Rockies are 2-8. Okay. Now here's some injuries for key players. So Tucker, it's saying he's. Oh, I'm sorry. This information is saying key players and or injuries. So that's what it's saying, and injuries. So right here is saying Kyle Tucker is very good. This guy here just mentioned he's got Reptiles, says he's got Tucker and Suzuki. So you can see there's a good reason for that. They're on a hot streak, 16-39, 7 doubles, 4 home runs between them, or between this guy. This guy has 12 home runs and 37 RBIs. All right, now you look at the Rockies. This dude Beck, he was doing decent. We were getting him for 1 hit before, but I stopped doing that because he just hasn't come up. But he's decent as well. Now they got multiple injury reserve people for the Cubs is Miguel Amaya, which is not a big deal as far as the team goes. But then you got Chris Bryant, which is a huge deal for the Rockies. So that's another reason you have to look at the injuries as well. Now, you look at the team records overall. Check this out. This is very obvious. Look at the Cubs. It's 30-21, which means they've won 32 games and they've lost 21 games. Overall, they're 16-10 at home. They're leading the National League Central. Compare that to the Rockies. The Rockies have only won 9 games. Like I mentioned before, this is the worst start in baseball history for 124 years. Okay? On the road, they're only 4-20. They're historically bad, just like I mentioned just now. Rockies, again, are 2-21, 8% on their last 23 road games. They're the worst situational spot. Like I've already mentioned several different times, if I was brand new to baseball and I'm looking at this data, I'm like, damn, these dudes suck. Okay, that's what I'm trying to show you. Is like all the analysis, all the data is here. It's telling you straight up that the Cubs are going to be a massive favorite, and it's showing on this game because of that. Now, this is a little more complicated. I'm not going to get into all these details, but basically it's telling you that the Cubs are favored not to bat in the 9th because they're playing in Chicago. And if you know anything about baseball, if I've already explained this in other videos, I'm not going to get into it here. But basically it's saying that whoever's at home, whoever's at home, and if they're winning or losing, depending if they're winning or losing, they get to bat in the 9th. Okay. And like I said, I mentioned this in other videos. I'm not going to get into it here because it takes a while to explain. But basically, the Cubs are at home, and it's saying the Cubs are not favored to bat in the 9th. What this means is that the books think that the Cubs will be winning. Therefore, they won't even have to bat in the 9th because they win automatically if the Rockies are down at the top of the 9th. I hope that makes sense. So anyways, it's important to look at that. Also, the Cubs, it's showing here that they're supposed to get over 8.5 hits. That's a favorite of a -127. The Rockies are favored to go under 7.5 hits. That's a 2-hit differential here, okay? And they're favored to go under 7.5 hits. There's a clear market separation. Now, the strongest play, obviously, is showing the money line at a -325. That would be the obvious play. You can parlay that with something else if you want. I'm not doing that. I did a -1.5, okay? Every single data point is favoring the Cubs. It's saying here that it's rare for the public and the sharp to be together, but it makes sense. The line move is confirming the strength. The Rockies are historically bad. There's a massive edge in pitching, hitting, and situational spots. All right, guys, that was a lot of information. I hope you guys appreciate that. There's a lot of information here. I'm not gonna go that deep into this analysis here. But I will tell you exactly who I'm going with in this game as well. But I want you just to show you how much data is here. So again, guys, if you're interested in that, go to the link in the description or beastsportspicks.com and then click on the Sharp Edge. And once you click that Sharp Edge, that's when you're going to get this information in your email and your text every day. All right. So now let's look at the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks were at a -180 when they started. They're still at a -180, so there's no movement there. The public money is 82% of the money. 82% of the bets is coming in on the Diamondbacks. 90% of the money is coming in on the Diamondbacks. There's indication. So I don't like when I don't see no movement right here, but there's a lot of other indications. So 82% of the money. 90% of the money, 82% of the bets. Statistical breakdown. Okay, so here we go. The rank is 13th for on-base percentage for the Diamondbacks. The Pirates rank 11th. So the Pirates do get on base more than the Diamondbacks, but very slightly. It's not a big mismatch. The Pirates' offensive edge, like I said, it is very slight. 78% of the win probability for the Diamondbacks. So it's telling you Diamondbacks have a 76% chance of winning. The projected scores, they're supposed to win by 1 run. Okay, it's telling you right there. It's the projected scores. The Pirates, they got Haney going up 291, which is actually a decent, very solid. But then these guys have Ryan Nelson, 4.6 ERA with 30 strikeouts. So he is struggling a little bit. Pirates have a ERA advantage. But so here we go. The bullpen, The bullpen is also very, what do you call this? Very similar. Both bullpens are struggling. Pirates are 5-5 in the last 10. Diamondbacks are decent head-to-head. What else? So this is telling you a lot of good information. I went with the Pirates. I'm going to be straight up. Situation. So here's another reason. The Pirates are 1-10 in the last. I'm sorry, they're 1-10 in the last 11 games. They're horrible. They're in terrible, terrible form right here. Compare that to where's the Diamondbacks? Diamondbacks are okay. That's the over-unders. So again, guys, like I said, this is still getting cleaned up a lot. There's a lot of information here, but I'll just keep going. What is it? One of the biggest ones is the recent form for the Pirates. They're only winning 9% of their games. Also, like I said, the projections, the pitching is very similar. The hitting is very similar. What else? So the line. Okay, so let me kind of go back up a little bit. There is no line movement. Okay, so it's very similar overall for both teams. Okay, but 180 is actually a very heavy favorite. That's actually a heavy favorite. And I already showed the public 82% on the bets, 90% of the money. That's already way more favorite as well. Okay, now they are very similar in batting and pitching. I said I was not going to get into this deep analysis, but might as well. Pirates are 5-5, like I said. Diamondbacks are 6-4. So they do outrank them a little bit in the last 10 games. However, look at again, 11. They're 1-10 in the last 11 games on the road. That's very, very important. And this goes back to something just out of historically. Like, for example, I was looking at the Rangers like 4 days ago, and everything looked good for the Rangers, except when they went on the road, they were only hitting at a 7% hit rate. Very similar to the Pirates. So even though everything is looking decent, when they're on the road, they only hit at a 9% hit rate. Okay, so that's very important. If you did not know that and you were going with the Pirates, I mean, you think about that. Key players, I'm not going to get into this. It's just telling you basically the very key players. I actually shot another video with Ketel Marte to get a hit. If you want to check that out, I actually put up in my channel right here. So make sure you subscribe, go to the channel. I shot a video with 11 batter props today. So go check that out. Ketel Marte is one of the strongest batters on the board for today. So anyways, we got Pirates over here. And then the injuries is telling you all the injuries. So these two dudes are not that important for them being out in this game. Diamondbacks record is very decent. They're at or not very decent, but they're at least a 500 team. Pirates are not. They're 19-35. So they're also historically head-to-head. Diamondbacks lead it. So now Diamondbacks are not favored to bat in the ninth, just like the Cubs. So the Diamondbacks are at home, and they're saying that they're not going to bat in the ninth. And what that means, translation means, Diamondbacks are supposed to be winning in the ninth inning. Okay, so it implies that the Diamondbacks will be leading in the ninth. Also, the over for the Pirates, it's saying that it should be over 8.5 hits, and the Diamondbacks is saying under 9.5 hits. So, like I said, overall, the hitting and the pitching is very similar, but that road record is horrible. Plus, all the money and all the bets are coming in on the Diamondbacks. So sharp action is coming in, and public support is coming in on the Diamondbacks. Historically bad road performance for the Pirates. Win probability is going towards the Diamondbacks, and they have like I said, the pitching is favored towards the Pirates, but the Diamondbacks do have the home field advantage. Okay, so I hope that made sense, man. That breakdown was actually 4 pages long for two games. So if you had all this information, you would make a very strong decision. So in this case, you can actually stay away from the Diamondbacks because the batting is shown to be very similar. The pitching is better for the Pirates. However, like I gave you all the reasonings why I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks. But like I said, if you saw this data, at least you can make a very strong prediction on what's going to happen. Also, the projections are very strong for the Diamondbacks. The public money's on the Diamondbacks. The public betting is on the Diamondbacks. Everything is pointing towards the Diamondbacks, even though the records show very similar information, and the pitching is favoring the Pirates. So I'm not trying to make this more confusing than what I just explained. What I'm just trying to show is that once you have all the data in front of you, once you have all the information in front of you, it's much easier to make predictions and or decisions. Okay, so again, guys, that's in the link in the description. The Sharp Edge. Yeah, he's saying, "Wow, multiple videos today. You're a busy man." Yeah, you're welcome, man. Yeah, I had some extra time. It's a holiday. The post office is closed, so I can't take all my other orders and stuff like that to the post office. So either way, I had a little bit of extra time waiting for my brother to show up so I can start drinking and watching some games. And wanted to throw out another video, man. So I appreciate you all that are here. Let's have a great day, guys. Check out the Sharp Edge. Also, check out my other videos. I did one on bankroll management. That's very important. A lot of people asked me when I did a survey 2 weeks ago, and they were saying, how do you control your bankroll and stuff like that?" I shot a video on how to do that last night, so go check that out as well. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. Otherwise, I'm gonna be hopping off, man. I gave you guys a lot of information today. So I gave you guys 11 batter props. Check that out in my channel. I gave you guys the Cubs at a -1.5. I gave you guys the Diamondbacks. So let's make it a great day, man. Hopefully they come through for us and it gets us some more bread, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much, man. Let's have a great day.